Hello, JPU family. Welcome to another episode. Guys, we need to talk about this circus that is still unfolding after the Jamaica Gleaner published an article this morning with candidate Paul Buchanan, a man who still insists that he somehow won the election in the Prime Minister's own constituency, despite the election results being publicly declared, certified, and observed. And I'm going to say it plainly. This did not come out of thin air. This feels like a coordinated messaging. This looks like influence. This smells like the fingerprint of Mark Golding and Peter Bunting with Dayton Campbell as the ever-willing amplifier. The PNP has now turned misinformation into a profession. They have graduated from political competition to political sabotage, and right now I am going to unpack it for you. Let's start with Paul Buchanan, a losing candidate, a defeated man, someone who knows he lost, someone who watched the results roll in, someone who saw the numbers. Yet somehow we are now being told that in Andrew Holness's constituency, a seat the Prime Minister has represented for years, Buchanan was the rightful victor. Jamaica, let me ask you something. Is this politics or is this a comedy special? I don't find it funny. This narrative isn't just far-fetched, it is dangerous. It's an attempt to normalize delusion, to turn personal fantasies into public confusion. But more importantly, it is the launching pad for a much bigger strategy. A strategy the PNP has been slowly building like termites under a wooden house. Buchanan's claim is not the story. The bigger story here is, why is this being pushed? Who benefits from this lie, the big lie? And why is it appearing now? All of this is part of the PNP's new political doctrine. Misinformation, disinformation, character assassination, personal smearing, destabilization of institutions, delegitimization of election outcomes, flooding the public space with confusion, and all because they lost. They cannot accept defeat. They cannot accept that the people of Jamaica said no. They cannot accept that their message failed. They cannot accept that their leadership failed. Instead of introspection, they choose insurrection by narrative. Instead of rebuilding, they choose tearing down. Instead of political maturity, they choose political tantrums. Jamaica is now being forced to live inside a cesspool of lies, engineered and repeated endlessly, because the PNP believes if you repeat a lie long enough, the public will become numb to the truth. But here's the impact on the nation and why I find none of this news about Buchanan funny. Let me tell you something that many are afraid to say on air. This reckless messaging is not just dangerous politically. It fractures the entire society. Every time misinformation spreads, trust breaks. Every time disinformation is amplified, unity dissolves. Every time character assassination is normalized, leadership collapses. The PNP has created a national fracture, a split in the Jamaican psyche that will take generations to repair. And while they are doing all of this, what is the JLP doing? Working, serving, responding, building, administrating, and in some cases, being too quiet in the face of political poison. That silence must end, because you cannot respond to political ammunition with political whispering. The failure of the JLP to match this aggression of the PNP is a problem. This is where we have to talk honestly. The JLP's weakness right now is not governance. It is communication, as I've said. While the PNP is throwing Molotov cocktails of disinformation, misinformation. The GLP is responding with a glass of room temperature water. This cannot continue. Jamaica is not dealing with the PNP of the 80s or even the PNP of the 2000s. We are dealing with a new creature, a group of misguided, power-hungry, political demagogues who have replaced policy with propaganda. This is no longer a political party. This is an influence machine fueled by rage, entitlement, and fantasies of power. If the truth is not defended boldly, fiercely, aggressively, and consistently, the lies will take root. Here's an uncomfortable truth. And right now we're talking the language of decency in our politics. We will never see decency return to Jamaica politics until certain political actors, the ones who normalize dishonesty, division, deception, no longer set the tone of the national conversation. Certain leaders in the PNP behave like political influencers who thrive on chaos and thrive on distortion. They thrive on sensationalism. They thrive on half-truths. And they behave as if Jamaica belongs to them, regardless of what the people voted for. That mentality is toxic. It is destructive. That mentality is why we are here today. There's a misguided leadership in the PNP of today. And let's call the behavior what it is. Power hungry, power seeking, driven by ego, detached from reality, addicted to disruption, hostile toward democratic outcomes. This is not leadership, definitely not governance, most certainly not patriotism. This is a political cult of grievance, a movement defined by anger that the people refuse to crown them. They cannot govern, so they undermine. They cannot persuade, so they confuse. They cannot unite, so they divide. Jamaica deserves better than this. So here's my call to action. Jamaica, ask yourselves, what do? We fight, but not with violence, of course. Not with chaos, not with the same tactics of those who want to mislead you. We fight with truth, relentless truth, uncompromising truth, unapologetic truth, because truth is the only antidote to political poison. If you want to save Jamaica, if you want to protect our democracy, if you want to preserve institutions, then the time has come to speak fiercely, to challenge lies fiercely, to reject misinformation fiercely, to stand up fiercely. This is your country, our country. This was your vote on September 3rd. Your democracy, your future. Fight fiercely with the truth. And to the government of Jamaica, to the Jamaica Labour Party,
we will need voices other than the government to explain some of the decisions that we will have to make. Because regardless of what we do and how we feel that we're making the right decision, Jamaica is a democracy. And ultimately, you want the people to understand what you're doing, appreciate it, and give their support. So we are not going to move ahead and leave the people. We're going to take the time to engage in conversation, to explain, and to challenge misinformation. As I said, any nonsense that is put up, any misinformation that is put up, we will stand here and challenge it. We will never cower in the face of falsehood. And that has been our position, and we will do it with dignity, and we'll do it boldly as well.
That clip was on Wednesday, where the Prime Minister of Jamaica addressed the press and the nation. And you can hear in the Prime Minister's voice, he is fully aware of what is happening. He is fully aware of what disinformation and misinformation is doing to Jamaica and is doing to his administration. However, the Prime Minister alone cannot do this. I do not see the weight of the Jamaica Labour Party behind this Prime Minister in tackling disinformation and misinformation aggressively. So to the JLP, I am here to tell you frankly that you have disappointed Jamaica in this fight against disinformation and misinformation. Now, in the normal Jamaican society, you would have the government and the opposition working together and trying to stamp out disinformation and misinformation in our country. But that's not going to be the case here. The Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party will not be joining hands and will not be working together against disinformation and misinformation. The PNP is the one who planted the seed of disinformation and misinformation in our country. So, where is the aggressiveness with the truth in the government to fight against the aggressiveness of lies, disinformation, misinformation of the PNP?